of sound. Yes, we do. Happy Friday. I hope this week has treated you well. Greetings from very gray, very rainy London. Yeah, it's the last day of March, the last live stream for March as well. I've still got that one page that I have to finish up. I've got a sort of plan for today. We're all good. Right, if you don't want any spoilers about all the things that I've scrapbooked with this kit in March so far, look away now because we're going to go through them. Here we are. So last time we did this grid with 4 photos on a 3x3 grid. There's going to be journaling here and here. But then we started with 4 photos, 2 photos into one block, 3 4x5s, 3 4x6s, 2 4x5s, the same photo, once in black and white, once in color, a 4x5 plus 3 little ones, and this is the one I have to finish still, which is a single 4x5. So I'm going to get that done today because I want it done by the end of March. I don't want it hanging over my head on the 1st of April, but there we go. So then that brings us up to here. Now I have a stack of all the Disney bounding photos from March, that all the bounds we've done, but I haven't scrapped yet. So I'm going to do something a little other way around today. And I've got an idea in mind, and I've got the leftovers from this kit. So I'm going to build the page first, knowing that one of those sets of photos is going to work. So I'm going to build the background of it all first with whatever I've got left, and then I'm going to choose the photos that go best with whatever I've made. And then I'll add the embellishments to make it make sense with that picture to help the story bit. So I'm going to build a background of pattern and stuff first, not too worried about the story. Then pick the photos and then add the story embellishment on top. Cool? Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Let me see if I can show you this concept that I want to use. Let's see if this is switched on yet. It's just starting up. So I'll do my speech and then maybe it'll be ready for me. Okay, and also, as we are at the end of March, that means that next week I go into the April kit, and there is already a video walking through all of the April kit, which is beautifully colorful. Look at all that color. And so yeah, you can find this video on my channel already. And, oh, it's probably got a March thumbnail or something, but it is the April kit. And it says so in the title. So yeah, you could still arrange for something like that from your own stash or by shopping today, and you'd have something to work with on all of the April videos. So you can find that on my channel already. Fabulous. Now, little speech, then I can show you the sketch, I hope. Hello, my name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my hashtag advertising. I appreciate you being here. Whether you watch live and you're chatty, whether you watch from Tomorrowland, whether you're quiet, I don't mind. But you're welcome here. Whether you scrapbook or you don't, you're still welcome here. So thanks for showing up and watching, and I hope you enjoy the creativity here. Now, if you want to scrap along, you can find links to things like that in the description box below. You can find links to my classes where I don't do all this talking about random rubbish that we do here on live streams. I just teach you design concepts, journaling concepts, photography concepts, all that sort of stuff, depending on what class you're taking. And I just deliver it as lessons without all the random chit chat. Cool? So you can find lessons on how to do that by signing up for a class, and those links are there too. Or you could just skip over to shimelle.com because there's a page where you can see all the classes I offer. And they're all there for you. Right! Oh, I thought I had better focus today and I look a little blurry now. Anyway, I think I needed to move forward. Moving on. Right. Let's see what we've got left here and what we're going to do with it. So I've got a lot of stickers, but I'm not hugely worried about that because I will use them in all of my pocket pages to finish up the the stories of the month in my album. So I'm not too worried there. But I want to gather up all these little scraps of paper that I have left. And then I actually have one sheet that I haven't cut into. What is that madness? Okay, so this is the sheet I haven't cut into, which is teapots or navy blue. Okay, so things that I have scraps of: floral, plaid or floral, glasses, some tickets. Oh, that was something pulled out to die cut, but so that's not actually in the kit, but it is a scrap and I might as well use it if I pulled it out. Little cut aparts here. And that's just packaging. This is also packaging. 3x4 packaging. Oh, that's a whole 6x6 that I haven't cut up. Bicycles and polka dots. Yeah, so quite a few stickers here. And especially here. So there's lots here. I did not do a good job using these throughout the month. Used some, but not nearly enough. Now, I would say, however, that I did pretty much demolish the 6x6 paper pad. I mean, so I've got all these little pieces, but I only had one 6x6 page, I believe, that I did not cut into. Maybe two. Is this a whole one? Yeah, so two. Yeah, but most of the 6x6 I have cut into. Then I have a whole bunch of cut aparts. And don't worry, I'm still going to be sharing how I use all that stuff up. These were pieces that I brought in from other kits. That's all right. That's from something else. And then we've got our dies. And I could do with using some different ones from there. Okay. So that's what the last day of the month looks like here. Now, is this ready for me to show to you? I had to restart it. We have got a sketch from the lovely Allison Davis, who runs Sketch Support and who also is the new sketch artist at Scrapbook and Cards magazine. Yeah. So that sketch that we did earlier in the month, which is the one that I haven't finished yet. This one. So this is actually Allison's first sketch for the magazine. Now, it's definitely not her first sketch. She is a prolific sketch artist and has been doing this a long time. But she's taking over at the magazine, and I didn't realize it when we picked this up. And I think a day or two later, she happened to post a picture of the sketch and say that this was her first sketch. And so the next issue that comes out, well, it's just come out this week, hasn't it? Last week. I don't have it yet, but it's out now. That's the first month where the sketch of the month is her sketch. And so that will be the case going forward. So anyway, if you have done this one and want to tag her, you can. Or the ones that you've tagged me, I'm going to do a little gathering of them and tag her so she can see them, because I told her that we did that sketch. Now, she's got this that's on right now. And I'm going to show it to you, but then I'm going to take this back off the screen so I can plug it in. But here we go. So her username on Instagram is Allison with two L's, Allison Davis 4SG, the number 4SG. You can see it up there. So this is the sketch that we're working with, which I think is a great way to use up a pile of little pieces. Yeah? So it's a whole bunch of triangles. And then the photos go over on the right-hand side. Yeah? Now she's got this lovely series where you can see how one sketch becomes a whole bunch of different pages for her. And admittedly, these all have a lot of stitching and things like that, so they are pages that would take longer than what I would ordinarily do on a live stream. But you can find all that on her Instagram. She doesn't know that I've done this. I've just decided I was going to show off that feature because I think it's something really useful, that she posts for free, and you can see all that sort of stuff. Cool? Right. Let's make a whole bunch of squares and turn them into triangles, shall we? Wow, this charges a bit more. All right. Now, how are we doing today? Make it so I can see the chat now. Okay. Right. The stripe on the top, this stripe. Oh, the stripe on the, of the April kit. Yes. Excellent, excellent. Jen loves a quilting with paper kind of layout. Yeah, it is lovely. Now, let's see. If I did 1-inch squares, that's really small. 2-inch squares, I think, is where it's at. So that becomes 2 inches, and then to cut them down the middle is less about measuring and more about putting the 2 points on your cutting line. And then you end up with triangles like that. And if it's a double-sided paper, you could just turn one over, but you might find that you want to mix them up more than that. Okay, so let's cut some 2-inch squares into triangles. Does that one end up nicely 2 inches? Just need to cut off the adhesive there on the edge that was holding it into the paper pad. Okay, and then we're going to mangle that one. Let me That's better. Okay. So we've got there. Jean says, Allison does an amazing amount of stitching. Jean doesn't think she has the patience. Yeah, with Allison and Paige, I often feel like, wow, I love looking at it, but I don't know that I would have the patience to do it myself, and I think that's completely fine. We can all appreciate the work of other artists who have a different process and amount of time that feels completely right for them to spend on a page. Yep, yep. It's all good. Right, I found it easier if I brought it down in the middle. So let's do that. Joanne says she loves quilting. Oh, what, like you love looking at quilts because you've never tried it, or you've never, or you, yeah, anyway. But she says a lot of maths involved in quilting. A little bit, but also the kind of maths that once you've got it is easy to keep going and just use the same things over and over again. So it's the same sort of maths in that when you look at all the different ways that you could divide up a 12 by 12 page, they're looking at how do you divide up a quilting block, for example. So, you know, I find that quite often in design, I'm using like hidden but easy maths. So I might look at a page and be like, well, the page is 12 by 12, so I could divide that into 4 columns that are 3 inches wide, or 3 columns that are 4 inches wide, 6 columns that are 2 inches wide. And knowing all my factors of 12 just makes that easier. But that's not hard. That is, once you realize it, it's just the same thing that you're going to repeat over and over again. So I find the same thing when I'm doing something quilty. I've done a lot of log cabin. I haven't done one recently, but there was a time in my life where I was almost always making log cabin cushions. Funny little world. I'm going to start stacking these up. No, not like that, like this. So I can see which patterns I have. I have those. Okay. What else could we chop up in here? Polka dots. And Kirsty says this looks complicated. It's not complicated. 2 by 2 squares. Yeah. So cut a strip 2 inches wide. Then turn the strip and cut that into 3 or however many 2-inch squares. Then take your square and put the pointy bits on the cutting line. Yeah. Cut down the middle. Now I have the triangles. Yeah? This is not hard. It's okay. You can do it. And sometimes it might go a little skew-if and you end up with one that's not perfect. That's okay. It's just scraps. It's like even a level down from it's just paper. It's just scraps of paper. So any other patterns in here that I really want to add in there? Could I do one of these? I think there's a 2-inch box there. Looks like it. Oh, let's take the adhesive off that far edge. Oh, it's going to pour down again. Rain, rain, rain. So much rain last night that it went past the point of being like how there can be the kind of rain that like sends you off to sleep because it's just gentle, and then without it being a storm, like there's no lightning or thunder, but the kind of rain that keeps waking you up because you're like, is something wrong? Is there water in my bedroom? No, it's outdoors. Pointy bits, cutting line. Lilitini asks a question. Are you looking for a variety of papers with more bold patterns versus white-based papers, or do you just use what you have since you know it all matches? In this case, I am literally just looking for the pieces that were the right size, because this is what's left over in the kit, and I'm going to cut it and then make it work. If I were starting from scratch, then I would be looking for specific things. For example, if I started with the photos from yesterday where we were dressed like Buzz Lightyear and Woody from Toy Story, I would probably start with a purple and a green pattern paper for Buzz and a yellow and a blue pattern paper for Woody. And I would make my boxes of those four colors. Yeah. Yeah, but this, I'm not starting that way. So if you weren't here at the very beginning, the other way around, I'm working with the sketch and the scraps to build a background first. Then I've got a big stack of photos, but surely something in there will work. So I'll just pick whatever will work best and put that on, and then do the embellishment that will make that into a story. But at this point, I don't know what photos I'm working with, so I don't have a particular color scheme in mind. I'm just wanting to use my scraps. Cool. And Julie has an interesting comment. Have I come across Tula Pink, which rings a bell, but I'm not placing it in my mind with something. The most amazing fabric designs in English paper piecing quilts. So I'm following you there. And then she says, just perfect hand sewing for theater moms. So now I'm really curious if there's like theming here, or if just something that I could take with me to sit in a rehearsal hall or outside a rehearsal hall, as I often am. I shall be doing that this week. Where can I sit in Croydon? Yeah. Sophia says she doesn't think it stopped raining all night. I don't think it did either. Her cats are not impressed. No. When it first started raining in March, I was like, yay, we need this rain. We've not had much for a long time. And now I'm past it because we every March we take photos every day. And we usually have a couple days get rained out, but this is by far the worst that we've ever had. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so over it. I want some sunshine. Yeah. The magnolias are out, but I can't really take a decent photo with them because they're always out in the rain. Oh, and we had a good question today. So there's a really ancient cherry tree. As opposed to a cherry blossom tree, a proper it grows cherries tree near WB's school. And you can't really pick the cherries from it because it's really old. So one, I don't know if the cherries are any good unless you're a bird. But also it's grown really tall up above the houses. So you would need like a literal cherry picker to get up and pick the cherries. But he had a really good question. The blossoms are already starting to fall off, and we have seen hardly any bees because the weather is still so cold and so wet. So is this going to have a big effect on spring and summer crops or not? I don't know. Maybe the bees have been buzzing up at the top of that tree and I don't know about it. But I thought it was a very good question and not my area of expertise, so I don't actually know. But I haven't seen a lot of bees yet. Right. Becca says she is missing small letter stickers like the October afternoon mini markets. What does everybody recommend? Becca, what country are you in? Because Ellie Studio little tiles, they're the closest to the October afternoon. But Ellie Studio doesn't ship everywhere, but the countries where they don't ship, they tend to have somebody in that country who sells their stuff. Okay, so if I start, if I start organizing like this, what am I going to get? I like that pink. Because I need to choose what I'm putting this on. I've got a couple options given that I have that one background sheet I haven't cut into. So I could, what else I got left here? Okay, so that's my kind of mix. I don't know why I did that all crooked. That's my mix of patterns. I could keep it all like this, which that's everything, I think, yeah. So they're all quite different, but they all still work together. And I could put this on a neutral. Or, okay, hold on. So I could do those patterns, just those patterns, and put them on a neutral, like white or gray, or I don't like craft with this, so yeah, like white or gray. I could do those patterns and put them on navy. I don't think that's going to work. I could do. Or I could make it slightly less random and mix these random patterns with a whole bunch cut from this with the teacups and the spots, so that there's more teacups or spots or both than all of these others. Or the last option is I could mix two of those responses, two of those choices. So I could build this grid on a neutral like white or gray, probably gray in this instance, and then cut right round that and put it onto this navy background. But I did buy it for the teacups. So it could be that I use the teacups to make a completely different page. Right, that was a lot of options. Thoughts? Sophia likes the navy. What if I look at other navy options so that I could keep my teacups for an Alice page? Right. What have I got in navy? I grabbed the box of crayons shelf. Navy with a green that kind of matches that green. Navy really bold, colorful dot. I think that's too much. That's also too much. I was wondering did I do a navy, like a tonal? I don't think I did. I think box of crayons mostly doesn't have tonals. Oh yeah, this was what I was remembering. I'm like, I remember the tonal navy dot, but it's not exactly a tonal paper. It's got a giant heart in the middle. Okay. Hello, Amy. Elaine says, oh, if you put it, yeah, you could chop the teacups out of the middle if you went for that last option where you just use the navy as a frame. That is true. Never Grow Up did have a navy tonal, but I think I've used all of it that I had. Oh, no. I have one sheet of it. Okay, let's look at those options. Kirsty says box of crayons is one of her favorites. Box of crayons is my chaotic collection, but I love it anyway. Like, it's chaos but fun. Okay, I feel like this brighter blue, even though the greens match up, I feel like this might be the better deal. Oh, Sophia says the dark blue in Field Trip. Not the dark turquoise, just a dark blue. All right, let's have a look at the Field Trip shelf, just because I'm nice like that. What do we got? I love how I say box of crayons is chaotic, and then I pull out this collection, which, you know, is not exactly peaceful and full of lilies. I've got a green. Oh, here it is. This one. The back of, you know, UFOs. Okay. I can cope with that. Joanne's favorite was Little by Little. I love it. Now it's just like conversation of what is your favorite collection? All correct answers. Thanks very much. Okay, so we'll do this one. So I have a lot of contrast. Nice dark blue tonal. Right, Shimelle drinks coffee. Well done to Sophia for knowing my collections better than I do. Why does this keep wanting to static cling to this paper? It's a tiny bit of packaging. Now, the one thing that I think is going to happen here is I'm going to need to map all the pieces out before I attach them. Not like that. Because when we talked about doing maths, I have not done the maths of what's here. Have I cut enough to make this fit? Any of that? No, have not done that. Okay. So if I went this way, nope. Which one has the pink B-side? That one. Don't worry, I will straighten it all up. But right now I just want to see if I've got enough pieces or if I need to cut more or add more in. Can I do this pattern or not? So that's what we're going to start with. Oh, I did not put the right piece there. I put the wrong side. Go. Because I think I may change, because obviously that's that one completely done, but I might have more of it. Gray. Oh, and these don't all look nice from the other side. Okay. It's all right. We're just going to draft it out and fix her up. Bicycles that way. Dots that way. Yeah? Bye, Julie. I will have a look for Tula Pink. She says there's even Alice things. Okay. No, so the stickers class is not on the forum yet. We'll be there very shortly now, but yeah, if you signed up for stickers or the upcoming album class, those are both coming soon classes, so you won't see anything on the forum yet. Cool. Oh, Becca says she loved Go Now Go and used it heaps, but now has a princess and unicorn loving 5-year-old, so she wished she had some Head in the Clouds. I do too. Head in the Clouds is the one I got the least of. Yeah. Just Head in the Clouds did not go to plan, and it's basically my favorite. Okay, so I don't have this one. So here we're going this way. No. Bicycles, dots, blue. Gray. All right, so then I'll have the empty square here. All right, what do I have? I have this one. No. That one. Are these the two where I didn't use the other side? Yeah, so I didn't use those. Okay, so let's see what else. Have I got enough of these patterns to just fill in those gaps, or do I need to add something else? Okay, so I've got enough of the blue. I don't need any more of that, but I do need more of this one, which I've got, no problem. Can go there. That can go here. Sorry, I'm just a little bit out of the shot there. And then this side will be pink. So that's all I need from that one. Dots and bicycles I've still got more of. Now I want the bicycles to be that way. Okay, cool. So most of these patterns could go either direction and it would be fine, but not the bikes. Okay. All right, this one. This is the one where the other side gets obnoxious. All right, let's see what we can do. Which way is better? I suppose this one is going to be easier for me to cover just the tiny bits. Yeah. Does that make any difference? Not really. Cool. All right, what else do I need? I need the yellow plaid. Oh, Amy says, a whole bunch of people who would understand a Disney obsession. If you could pick one color to represent Frozen, what color would you say? Yeah, it's, is it that? It's just, this is just the slightest bit too green. It's between that and tumbled gloss. Yeah, it's an icy blue. This is actually, I mean, this is an Alice thing, but that's actually a pretty close color there. Icy blue, yeah. What was somebody else saying? Because the answer is incorrect. I mean, we have an advertising campaign for the Frozen musical all over London, which is just Elsa on a background of the same color as Elsa's dress, and she's like got her Frozen magic hand out. So you can see Samantha Barks all over, all over London in that color. Right, I need this one. Have I got any more of that? Oh, that's not helpful. Okay. So the answer might be to take that one out and substitute it with this, which I think could be kind of cool. Purple, pink, or the teal from Anna's dress. No! If you were doing like an entire color scheme based on Frozen, then those become acceptable. But otherwise, no. That is, if it's a single color to represent Frozen, it's definitely that pale blue. Definitely. Oh, you know what I might be able to do? Because these are the same. So I don't really love that pattern. I'm going to put all of these in as the opposite to that. And that will work mathematically. Right, so then I just need in the right direction. These pieces. There. That's upside down. That one. Mm-mm. Last one, and then I'll put it back in the shot and you can see that it has all come together. All right. Yay. There we go. So now, obviously this is all messy, but you can see that all the correct number of pieces are here. They all fit. And the only question I have is, should I change something else out for this one that has the funny little scallops? I could do this instead. That's basically the only option though. So keep this in even though it's got this little kind of bits of navy blue, or swap it to that. Meanwhile, Amy's updating us on stage managing Frozen Junior. It seems to be all Amy thinks about. Even her script is icy blue. She's glad to know she has all of our support. We've had discussions about Hans being a terrible twist villain and Anna being the actual main character and not Elsa. It's been an interesting musical so far. Okay, so, interesting thoughts. Now, is Anna a great character? Yes. Is Anna the main character? No, because like Elaine says, Frozen is taken from the fairy tale, the Snow Queen. Elsa is the Snow Queen. Ergo, Elsa is the main character. Now, Elsa is a fatally flawed character. Oh, she's not fatally flawed. She's, she's near on fatally flawed. She is a very flawed character, but that's what Hans Christian Andersen's about. So, it's okay. Right. I mean, yeah, okay. So, with a wide-lived experience in what in my family we call drama, which is the fact that in drama there's always someone who likes to make real life dramatic too. Is your Anna better than your Elsa? Because that's what I would be interested if somebody's going, no, Anna is the main character. With the context either being that whoever is playing Anna is either really good or is a bit of a diva. And they've told Anna, oh, yes, you are the lead character, because in some way that's either going to placate or motivate the actress playing Anna. But that is drama. Okay. Right. I was I'm reading all your comments, sorry. Jen says she likes the idea of the lighter color or the blue color to bring this in and swap it. Although don't be worried about the practicality, because couldn't I cover it up with like enamel dots and stuff? And yes, I totally could. Let's just make life easier and put this in here. Mel says her daughter loves Anna more than Elsa. Yeah, and see, that's very fair. I think Anna is a more lovable character than Elsa. But it doesn't make her the main character. I mean, and you can do this with lots of different types of storylines and look at the character who's at the center. And quite often, in order to have that main character feel, it means that that character has to have a lot of, are these? Oh, I can't do this one. It's ever so slightly too small. Never mind, that's decision made for me. I should have measured it before. Okay, done, we're keeping it. Yeah, so the main character in a lot of stories has to be a little bit more selfish and feel almost a little bit more conceited in a way because everything's about them, but because they're the main character. So they have to do it. All right, Kirsty asks the next obvious question, am I going to ink all the triangles? And yes, I'm not going to sew them, but I am going to ink them. So I think we're going to do gray ink today. I'm going to try it. Let's see if this is visible at all, and if not, I'll shift to black. So this is Lost Shadow, which is our color of the month, and many people told me you'll fall in love with it because it works so well with the other colors, and so far I'm not sure. I don't want to have led you astray, but I don't feel like I'm going to be using it all the time, but I'm not ready to write it off yet. You can't see that. It's too light. You just can't see it. That is quite heavy. What does the gray look like on some of the other colors? It looks like, why do I bother? You cannot see it. Okay, decision made. I'm going darker. And just be really light-handed about it. She says, and then puts a big old splodge of black ink. Whoops. I will keep going with the Lost Shadow ink because I feel like I need to give it more of a try, but I haven't found it anywhere near as easy as colorful inks for me to just fall in love with. But on a happy ink note, have we seen the new color inks from Concord and Ninth? I don't have any Concord and Ninth inks so far, so I don't know what the ink is like, what the ink pad is like. But color-wise, they've just announced the color I've wanted forever, and it's right. It's not too pink, it's not too orange, it's most definitely the peach of my dreams in the sample. So as soon as I have the availability to do so, I shall order one and see what it's like, because different inks do different things. So it may be the ink of my dreams, it may not be, I don't know. Kirsty says she would use dark blue to do the edges, and you totally can, but I just don't particularly like it, personally. So the colors that I use to do my edges, I like to try to keep them, I know I don't use a lot of neutrals, but I kind of like neutrals for edging because the whole idea is that there's one defined, not in your face way to pull a whole bunch of different patterns together. That's why I like inked edges. And I like, one, that it makes different pieces feel like they could all come from the same collection because they all have this same shade to the edges. But also, I like that there's a strange effect that makes it look like that piece of paper was always meant to be that size. And not that you've cut it that way. this is one that I find really difficult to explain why that's important to me, and I don't know. But I like it. And it's why I sharpen my scissors a lot too. Why I have a scissor sharpener. Because when you start to use dull scissors, you start to really notice a visible cutting line. I don't want it to look like one side of my paper block because I'm cutting from a corner. I don't want it to look like these two sides were cut to be that way and were always meant to be that way, but these two were not. That's what I'm on about. And so the ink helps my eye to say, nope, that paper was always destined to be that shape and size. And now, the thing is, the reason I don't use colorful inks for my edges is because then the color on the edge almost glows like neon to my eye. It makes it more obvious. And maybe a really nice dark blue would not do that. So a really dark shade. But like I would never edge in red or hot pink because of that. The only time I would edge in really colorful inks is if it was like layers of white. And you wanted to define the different edges, the different layers, things like that. So I tend to use brown or a soft black. I love the idea of using a gray, and I used to use the Jenny Bolin gray a lot. Maybe I need to pull my Jenny Bolin gray out again. But that way they're not glowing like neon to me. I don't want the edges to pick up more attention. I don't want them to be, your eye to be drawn more to the edges than the pattern inside. And so that's why I don't ink in color. Does that make any sense? I am always okay about some of these design things just being, Shimelle, you're a little weird. That's okay. I think craft is a very, very fine place to embrace the weird things that you like. Yeah. I have a friend who sees me knit most weekends, and she's always like, why do you not knit something that's like really complicated? Because I would not enjoy knitting something that's really complicated. What I do really enjoy, simple patterns with really beautiful yarn. That's what I like. So that's what I do. Could I knit something much fancier in pattern with yarn that was much cheaper that I bought at a chain store? Yes, I could. I'd be very slow at it, and I'd probably make a lot of mistakes. But what I've realized over the years is that I really actually enjoy simple patterns with beautiful yarn. So that's what I do. Know what you like and do what you like. Because otherwise, it's not fulfilling that lovely spot of craft. So you might actually really love neon signs. And the idea that, because I mean, I do kind of like neon signs, but not like, some people really love them. So you might go, actually, I've always wanted a way to make paper crafting look more like neon signs. Well, there you go. Don't use neutrals to ink. Use a really bright color and you'll get it. Right. Christina says she uses hickory smoke for edges and sometimes walnut stain. Walnut stain is my brown. I have hickory smoke, not in a distress ink, but that is the gray that I used as an oxide before Lost Shadow. And I think hickory smoke is my preferred gray, but I haven't had Lost Shadow enough. I have not given it a fair enough shake yet. So I will give it a little bit more. I didn't cut the adhesive off this one, and now it's coming back to haunt me. So let's trim that. Okay, where was I here? Why have I missed that? I've missed some somehow. What was I doing? I haven't missed that. Oh, it just looks like it. Okay, we're good, we're good. Okay, everything inked. Thank you for your patience. Right, we've also got Laura knows about the Concord and Ninth inks. She says, it's soft, squidgy ink pad, stamps well, blends beautifully with blending brush, but she's not used it with a booper. They're juicy ink pads, but not overly juicy. So less juicy than a Catherine Pooler ink pad. Would you say that's fair? And are they a similar type of foam? I mean the squidgy pad, because I did find because Catherine Pooler has a peach Bellini, and I do really like the color, but it's the only Catherine Pooler I have, and it doesn't play well with others in my collection because everything else I have is that oxide that has the softer edge to it, and Catherine Pooler is like a super juicy, super concentrated. So to get the best out of the peach Bellini, I actually need more ink pads. Haha. Okay. Amy is enjoying our analysis of Frozen. Okay, now I think it's finally time to start sticking. So I'm just going to get, if I can get one line correctly spaced, then I'll be able to see it. Now, if the idea of hand spacing these and eyeballing it up is making you nervous, don't fret. Would you like to see how I would do it to keep everything really equal? Because I can do that, but I just need to work out where it's all going first. Okay, that looks like it's about right. So I'm going to need some strips of paper that are going to be waste in the end. They don't need to be good paper. In fact, they should not be anything precious, but they need to be the full width here. So I need I need two that are going to be the size of the outside line there, which I'm going to make about 1 centimeter. That's just that first square on the grid, so I need 2 of those. So you can eyeball it, or you can do it with spacers. So I'm cutting spacers at the moment. Then I need one that's going to be the size of the margin in between, and one that's going to be the size of the margin in between there. To me, that's going to be the same. And then I need it for this space here too. So that's going to be 3 of the smaller ones. So I'm going to make that half the size of the first spacers. So I'm sorry to go metric, but it's just easier in little pieces here. I did 2 spacers that were 1 centimeter and 3 spacers that are 5 mil, half a centimeter. Yeah. All right. So I've got my spacers. And you need repositionable adhesive. Don't use anything that you can't pull back up. Okay? Right. Where is my adhesive now that I've done all this moving stuff around today? Oh, I see you. You're hiding over here. Oh, well. Somebody left a very lovely and practical comment that if I kept a bowl on my desk, instead of moving all the cutoffs and things over to my trimmer and having them stack up there, I could just always have them ready to transfer from my desk into a bowl into the bin. I'm like, that is a brilliant idea from someone who's way more organized, because I have lots of little bowls around my desk. And do you know what they all have? The things I want to make sure I don't put in the bin. Okay, so spacer along that top line there. Spacer along this side here. And I'm just lining up with the outside edges of the paper on that. Okay. Laura's not used a Catherine Pooler, but she thinks it's the same type, not linen topped. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Now, put the first triangle in, and this is not, I mean, I obviously still use repositionable, but this is not going to be pulled up in theory, unless we mess up. Okay. So you've got that there. 1 small spacer. These are going to move around as you build. Line it up like that. I feel like this might be too big. I'm going to pull it up and check. I think I've made my spacer. Oh, yeah. The spacer's way too big. Okay. So I need smaller. The 5 mil was too much. It needs to be more like half of that. Okay, so what I am going to do is place this one eyeball. And then do this line to separate it. So the one I've already stuck down, where's that? Oh, this is fine. Okay. So can place that to go across there. Then you can either cut smaller spacers and put them in these gaps, or you can eyeball from here, which, because I've cut those spacers too big, is what I'm going to do. I'm going to eyeball from here. But that's the idea. So you would put it in between, and then you would just pick it up and move it as you go. Are you with me? Oh, Joanne is. She's finding this is going to make it easier for her. Good. Now, if you wanted to do a square mosaic instead of a triangle mosaic, then using the spacers is even easier because you don't need the one that goes in the middle. Yeah. What? Sophia says Shimelle is not at home to Mr. Work today. The many ways this could be interpreted. Oh, to Mr. Wonk. I see it now. My screen with the comments is too little. Yeah, I'm not making it my normal wonkiness. Wonkicity. I love wonkicity at things. So yeah, this, you can tell now this is a little wonky, but not a lot. Sophia says if it was her, she would eyeball the whole thing, but then spend ages messing about with it, and I would too. So I don't know, like that would then feel like more effort, but I just thought it would be worth showing this to you because of the comments at the beginning where some people said, it feels like a lot of work. And see, I've done all that and I've still ended up with my spacing off here. Do I change it now because I'm only on the first row? Or do I just end up doing all this, cutting a little bit off and putting it on another sheet, which is what I'm more tempted to do. So I think that's what I'll do. Okay. So when you come back here, you use that spacer to get this lined up in the right spot. See, look, you can still be messing about trying to get it in place. And then let me just temporarily mark where that edge is there. It doesn't matter where the right-hand edge is on this. Just want to, yep, come here. Yeah, see, I think I might be better at eyeballing stuff. But in theory, I can then mark out where this is going to go. Cut it off and put it on another sheet. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. It's just going to be easier at this point. Okay. Sophia can't cope. She's like, this is when I first started using white backgrounds and I was so out of my element. I am really fighting this. That's why I just took the bottom one off. But there you go. If you want to play with that idea and get all your spaces in the same place, that's how you can do it. But I'm not saying it comes naturally to me. So years ago, does anybody know the stamp company Magenta? I don't know if they still exist. More like a Somerset Studio kind of vibe than a scrapbooky vibe. Okay, but years ago, the stamp company Magenta had a product where it was sticker paper that you bought on an A4 sheet, but it came to you already pre-cut into squares with no margin. So you've got a sheet of sticker paper that then they've chopped into the little squares, and so you can have one back. So the difference between, it wasn't pop dots, it was just flat sticker paper. But the difference between this, where this has no waste in between, right? And this clearly did, where this has been die cut and then they've left a margin, right? So it was this. So no margin, and just a sticker paper with the cuts already done. And so you, Jean says they were Canadian. So then they taught a stamping collage class where you like blended inks and stamped on top and taught you how to place the different stamps to get a lovely collage feeling. And then you'd pull the stickers apart and build them into a mosaic with the spaces in between. And this is where I learned how to do it. And then I taught a lot of workshops with the technique because it was like a teacher training kind of thing where I worked with a scrapbooking store at the time, and they taught store owners how to do it so that then you could teach it and sell the product, which I did. So I have this phase in my scrapbooks around the year 2001 where there's all these just like minimal like everything else. There's no pattern paper because this is before I had a lot of pattern paper available to me, but there'd be like plain cardstock, and then there'd be this little block of a mosaic with themed collaged stamping. And I really enjoyed the technique. It was very therapeutic to mix the stamps like that. But yeah, the spacers, the spacers is not my natural habitat. But yeah, I wonder now if I would find a way to mix them into the layers a little bit more along my my style. I might, I don't know. Drink the coffee, Shimelle, or your head's gonna explode. Not literally, YouTube, please don't take away my family-friendly rating. Right. Jean says she thinks she might have some of this product somewhere in her grate unused. I love it. And Kirsty says She would try this as an accent, but it feels like way too much effort to do the whole page. But I'm not even sewing it. Allison's like stitching everything. So I thought this was taking it down a notch. But how long has this taken me? Ages. Yeah, a fair amount of time. For me. Yeah. This is definitely something I would put on super fast pattern paper mode if this were not a live stream. Yeah. I would speed it up. So this bit of spacer is probably not a bad idea for me, but it means that the spacing between the horizontal spacing and the vertical spacing are not the same spacing. Right. What does everybody have in their great unused? I love this concept. What are the things that even though you haven't used them for many years, you still keep them because you're not ready to set them free? You might use them. Oh, and I wanted to show you the punches that I decided to set free and see if any of you disagree. I've got them just down by my feet, so hold on, I'll show you. Here we see the crested Shimelle outside of her usual territory. That is exactly what's happening here. Scrapbooking as a David Attenborough documentary. And you know what some of you are doing. I know it. You're going, Shimelle, the ones over here are going to get covered up by the photos anyway. I know. But if I try to work out which ones are going to be covered and just leave them off, I'll just make a bigger mess of it. So we're going to do all of them. And then we're going to come back. Okay. All right, while I do the last row, I'm going to pull the punches up here. I'm going to pull the punches. No, I'm going to pull the punches that I've decided I'm probably going to set free, and you can tell me if I've made any poor life choices, okay, before I list them. I might just put them on Vinted. Right, here we go. Keeping in mind that I have many I have kept, I will not have a shortage of punches. Dove, this kind of scallop circle outline thing, I have kept normal plain scallop circles, but I don't ever find that I use that one. Birds on a Wire, which I really wanted to love, but I've barely used. This firework thing, which seems like really cool to me, but I don't know. You're using the negative, otherwise you just have confetti dots. So you're using the negative, which means you've got to be able to place it there. So, I don't know. A doily border, this kind of Orlikili style vine border. It's not quite Orlikili, but I think that's probably why I got it. And a doily with a heart in the middle. If there's anything there that you think, actually, I'm making a poor life choice, you tell me. But I think those are the ones I'm going to set free. I have to get rid of about that much because that's the storage space I have, and I feel like I haven't used any of those in long enough that they should have their freedom to live out their crafty destiny with someone else. Joanne loves the doily border. And Jean would keep the single bird. I just don't use it. I use bird stickers. Sorry if Alex comes along to watch this discussion of bird embellishments morning. But yeah, I don't ever find that I want to use just like a single colored punch out bird. I use a bird sticker or something like that. Laura also wanted to love birds on a wire, used it on one project, moved it on. Do you know when I used this the most was in the glory days of Hambly screen prints. It's very much that aesthetic. Oh, that's not the right piece. I glued the wrong side. Yeah. Oh, and I've lost a piece here somewhere. What have I done? Oh, no, it's just here. This should be here, right? No, here. No. Oh, I have lost a piece. It's this one. Okay. What should be in this corner? Stripes. No. What? Why am I so confused? Blue, gray, stripe. Yeah. So this one needs one I'm not seeing. I have the one that I cut a little off here. I'm really confused as to where it's gone though. It's fine. I have what I need, but I'm really confused. I don't know how I just like lost something into the ether. I can fix this one a bit. It's fine. Yeah, it should be. It's here that I've messed up. That's why. I don't know how I did that. Okay, sorry. Moving on. This should go here. And then also here. Right. And I've started to wipe that adhesive off, so I need to put that back on. That is not cut straight. All right, so then I have this one and that one. We're good. I got confused by birds. I really did not mean to change the pattern. No, I just stuck the wrong one down here. Okay, all good, all good. Now, so in order to get this spacing right, I'm going to put this over here. This can come off now. That's done. And trim this edge. Put this one down this side. Take all my spacers off and plonk this on another sheet of 12 by 12. And we finally made that bit. Ah, okay. It's more labor intensive than I would think. Or than I would usually do. I mean, I knew it was going to be labor intensive. So, there we go. I'm just going to check. I think I might have a sheet of one of those pink fresh papers in the larger size. And that would be a handy way to use that. Do I have anything from that collection here? Welcome to the Pink Fresh shelf. Oh, I have a cut apart and the glosses. Oh, or the stripe. What's the back of the stripe? So I could put it on this. Let's see. This was, somebody asked about what this collection was the other day. It's called Indigo Hills. It's a very early Pink Fresh collection. Okay, let's use that stripy one. Like that. No. Like that. Okay. Now, let's stick this down, figure out what photos are going to go with this, and then refer back to the sketch. So this is one option, and that may be the best one. It's more green for Peter Pan. I mean, there's Hipster Mickey is kind of, that's just not what I imagine doing with those. Yeah, that's just dust. I think that's the best option. Okay, let's do this. So this is Merlin and Madame Mim. Let's bring the sketch back. How are we doing here? Yep. Oh, whoops. Oh, Shimelle, you are very silly. I put this in a silly place and I didn't realize the kind of the way it would attract all of the dust. Okay. Now, hold on. Doop. Where's my sketch? Oh, no, that way. Oh, why is it not letting me see that as a full thing? Hold on. There we go. So here's the sketch. So that works well with two smaller photos as well. Am I able to make it so you can see the sketch and the whole layout? I think so. Yeah. Okay, little bend and snap. So things that we would want to add to this then would be, so our colors are pink, purple, and blue. But I think I could just maybe mostly leave off the purple and emphasize the pink and the blue. There's also, this is not, we had to do an indoor shot, which I don't love doing. So this is the banister on the stairs, and I'm just going to cover it up like that. Okay. Now. Oh, whoops. Okay. All those stickers. And what could I mat these with to set them off a little bit? Got this that we pulled out before. that side looks a bit more green, but this side looks a bit more blue. I kind of like the idea of something more in line with that. Let's see what we got. I am looking through all the scrappiness from older kits. What have we got? What would be a good Merlin paper? Oh, it's still, I thought in the cupboard that looked similar. It's not. It's pretty, but it's not at all similar. Okay, so previous kits are a no. If I got something that would work here, what about? No, still too green. I need to put lights in my cupboards so that I can see what it's going to be. That's periwinkle. That could work. Okay, let's find something I could put with that. Maybe a pink. Surprising lack of pink in my scraps. What is that about? I would be shocked. I would never guess that there would be this little pink in my scrap basket. I feel like there should be lots of it. There's that. Okay. All right. Oh. Discussions of humidity with scrapbookers usually means we are either talking about flare badges and possibly other metal embellishments like stick pins, or we're talking about adhesive. Today, we are talking about flare badges. They rust. Yeah, they rust in the climate here in London. Although Auntie Caffeine is in the Pacific Northwest and she certainly then has humidity, but she doesn't get rust. Amazing. But yeah, they definitely rust here. So that is why you don't see me putting them in kits or particularly in my albums anymore. I certainly used to. And my sparkly friend did a lot. She's a big fan. Is that gonna fit? Yep. Sorry, Amy. Right. Now. Ink those. Yeah, back in the day, did anybody have a Making Memories paint can? This is going way back. So Making Memories used to do a lot of metal embellishments. And one year they did a thing that was kind of like, it wasn't an advent calendar, but you could have used it that way. It was an empty paint tin filled with I think it had paper grass in it and then a whole bunch of different embellishments. Some of them were fine over the years and are still in my albums. But a few of them, whatever they were made of, they rusted in the package. And that was not good. Melinda says, can you still use rusted embellishments or should I really throw them out? I would suggest getting rid because rusting is a process and it will continue. So then eventually you'll get orange coming through to the paper and possibly even the photo in your album. It will just continue to rust and corrode. So personally, I would get rid of, if your stash is already rusting. It may be that where you live, you won't have that problem, but here in my house, it rusts, yeah. Okay, so we've got these, and because of the busy background, I am going to pop that whole thing up to give it a bit better chance to catch your attention and have a foreground rather than just chaos there. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So she has taken it at this kind of angle there. So I want that to cover that spot there. That'll give me room for embellishment here. That's fine. This is not him being sad. That was him being in character concentrating. That was his thinking about magic face. Of course, everybody has one of those, right? All sorcerers and wizards and things must have a thinking about magic face. It's important. So I'm going to pop all of this right up. And this is more poppio than normal for me, but I was worried about, since all of these pieces are individual, I want to make sure that it's stuck all the way around. Oh, that's a great idea, Kay. If you've got lots of flare badges and you still like them, stick them all in a frame and then you can just enjoy looking at them. And when they rust, you can get rid and you've had your joy from them. That's a lovely plan. Okay, so this kind of then comes down here. The angle on hers is a little bit bigger, I think. Angling things? I mean, I've used spacers and now I'm using angles. What is this about? All right, we're gonna put it there. And we're gonna have journaling on strips here with a title here, 3 bits of embellishment there. Okay, I can remember that. Where's my plug gun? Don't put it back in a dusty spot. Much better, okay. Right, what are we thinking title-wise? And what can I embellish with here? Where are you going? This one. Okay. And this blue flower. This one will work. So if I'm going to take something and overlap it with a popped element, I need to put pop dots on the part that will be down here, but not the part that will overlap there. Like that. Okay. blue in here. If I got anything that would work. Do this tab over here. Okay. I can bring that blue in here. Now, enamel dots that are left in this kit. Who are we dressed up as? We are dressed as Madame Mim and Merlin from Sword in the Stone. Yeah. Okay. I need to pop that underneath there and underneath here. So the theme that particular day was witches and wizards. So that's why we went with Sword in the Stone. Put those there. Pop this up this side. Okay. Title going in here. Now, don't suppose those page titles, those Page Evans stickers that I pulled out the other day has, oh, there's a magical and it's pink. I was like, I'm sure there's a reason I left this out. There was. Was that movie ever in theaters? Oh, yeah. It was in theaters, but it's old. What? 63. I was like, I want to say 61 or 63, and I'm not sure which one. 63. I only mean old in terms of compared to modern day films. For anybody who just thought I made a comment about your age, I really did not. We're all good. We're all good. Okay, so we're going to have magical right here. Auntie Caffeine saw it as a kid on VHS like 20,000 times. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Or Sunday evenings, Wonderful World of Disney on TV in America. With your host, Michael Eisner. I often think, why is it that even before I was like actively hooked into the Disney news cycle, why did I know that Michael Eisner was the CEO of Disney growing up? And I'm like, oh, because every Sunday night he went on TV to tell us all something about Disney. They don't do that now. Do today's children know who the CEO of Disney is? Was this genius marketing by Michael Eisner to be like, there's a whole generation of people who know of me and they don't know why? I think I must have thought he was a TV presenter. I wouldn't have known that he was a business person. I think I would have thought he was a TV guy. But would I have thought that if I were old enough to have watched Walt live on TV, because Walt obviously introduced them before the days of Eisner. And I think you would know that Walt was Walt. I don't know. But yeah, it helps if your name is the name of the company, I guess. Elaine loves when Merlin does his lessons as a squirrel. Yes. Sunday evenings were the best, except for the existential dread that the next day was the beginning of the school week, says Auntie Caffeine. I was okay with that bit. Right, what other lettering am I going to put here? Yeah, there's a part of my life where I very specifically remember whether I could watch The Wonderful World of Disney or not, because I was spending weekends at opposite houses, and not in a rich way. And so the weekends that I couldn't, like, I'd make it home halfway through, I'd make it back to, yeah, anyway, sorry, that's a confusing sentence, and I'm trying not to be awkward, and I'm just being more awkward. But I'd make it back halfway through, and I wouldn't want to see just the end of the movie, but then I would know all my friends are going to be talking about it on the playground tomorrow because it was just normal network TV. Yeah. Ah, Amy says Wonderful World of Disney is why she first thinks big silver ball instead of castle when she hears Disney. Yeah. So for those of you who didn't grow up in America and are like, what is this? There would be, on just normal network TV, they would play a Disney movie on a Sunday night, and it was called The Wonderful World of Disney. And I don't ever remember knowing what the showing would be. It was just like, there'll be a Disney film or a Disney something on Sunday night, and it was normal TV. You didn't have to go to the video store. You didn't have to have cable, which we did not have cable where I lived until I was much older. So it's just happy, wholesome memories. But yeah, the CEO of Disney at the time would come on and like present what you're gonna see, and the big silver ball that Amy mentions is kind of what came out of the TV screen, the logo of it all. Yeah. Okay, I need something else that's going to go with the word magical. What have I got? Ah, it was on ABC, says Auntie Caffeine. Her dad worked for ABC, so she knew. I could do together. Should I just do that? You can do the magical every day. Let's just do together. Together is a versatile word in scrapbooking if you ever have other people in your photos. There was a time when I was never using the word together in my scrapbooks, but now I do. Oh no, why is this one peeling the paper? Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Sometimes you just got to find a better edge. And then peel from there, and you should be all right. You know, when words are fiddly like this, I never know, is it better? Is it quicker to have the whole word already there for you? Would it actually be easier to just spell it out? Could go either way. Elaine's like, now you have to have a subscription service. And you can have all the programs you want, but not on network TV. I suppose Wonderful World would just be the kind of holiday broadcast. And I wonder, I've been away too long to know. So American friends, and I'm interested about Australian friends too. Network TV, free TV at Christmas. Do you get a lot of like nice family films? It's like a very British Christmas tradition. You'll get like E.T. is always on, things like that. Wizard of Oz usually gets played over Christmas or Easter. And I vaguely remember this happening at Easter when I was a kid in the States. I don't really remember it at Christmas, but it might be that it was always happening and I was just not living a life where we watched a lot of TV over Christmas. You have a musician parent, your Christmas schedule is very busy. So a lot of churches need music over Christmas. Okay, so we got it like that. Yes, and then I can mix, what color dots? I can make the pink dots with the things from here. I think that'll work. Maybe even the purple. Like that. That's right. And one over here. So what color do I need to use the biggest one? This one. I'm going to put it right on top of the photo there. Okay. No, I never watched The Queen growing up. Now, I'm guessing the Queen's speech probably does air throughout the Commonwealth, but it didn't air in the States for me. No. Okay. I got enough of these shapes. Yeah. Okay. Some strips for journaling here. I think this needs a little bit more embellishment. Maybe from one of the cut aparts in the 6x6. So let's have a look at those. Let's take the specs here, pink glosses. Well, let's start with that. Like that. Okay, and then journaling strips. I'm wondering about taking this one. And cutting it down into the strips. Okay. It's going to be pretty little, but I think it might work. Now, preface to say, you might want to write your journaling first and then cut it into strips, because by doing it this way, I'm going to be writing over an uneven background. If that sort of thing fills you with dread, do it the other way around. Okay? You can do it. Make it work for you. Elaine said there'd be a Disney film after the Queen's speech. So in her house growing up, the Queen was on because they were waiting for the Disney film. It's all right, Your Majesty. That was a cultural reference that when I came over, I was not quite prepared for. I don't think I knew that the Queen gave a Christmas speech, or that people like waited to eat their Christmas dinner until the Queen had given this speech and stuff like that. Some people totally did. Some people did not at all. I don't know. I didn't really, I knew nothing of it. Okay. When I write the journaling, I reserve the right to swap this, but it was an idea and it's not terribly horrible. Yeah. Okay. It's a lot, and yet I feel like it doesn't have as much as some things. I'm going to mist it, let it dry, do the journaling, and call it done. So mist is just going to go in the same places that the enamel dots are. Trying to get some onto the navy because gold on navy is really nice. There we go. That's it. Now, that means I do need to do one more because I've got that full page of teacups and teapots, and I do have something that I want to work on that with. So I will show that to you. And then on Monday, there'll be a premiere. That's what we call a live, not live. So I'll be live in the chat, but the video will be pre-recorded because I'll be in a rehearsal hall. But we're all good. Right. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like this, you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be super duper awesome. I hope that for those of you who like the idea of looking at ways that you can use up the end of a kit, that this is an idea from Allison that I think really lends itself to the end of a kit because you don't need a lot of big pieces to make it work. So I hope you have enjoyed trying this. And that's 2 sketches from Allison this month, and then all the rest were the things that I sketched right on on the day, on the fly. Sorry, I got distracted by Auntie Caffeine saying, OMG, look, the last bottle of Heidi Swapp Color Shine. Quick, let's all go over and beg to borrow some. No, it's the last of mustache. So there we go. Right, so I'll be live on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. And if you are picking up children early from school today like I am, have a wonderful Easter holiday. May it not drive you too mad. May you have just the right amount of fun. Nancy says, will the May kit have more Blooming Wild in it? I'm not 100% sure. It depends on what the shop inventory is on Monday. And what I have learned so hard is that if I plan even a week in advance, even 3 days in advance, exactly what I want in the kit, it will all sell out before the day the kit goes live. So there may be Bloomin' Wild, there may not be Bloomin' Wild, but it will be colorful and it will be fun. Cool? Right. I'll see you on Monday for a new kit and a new shopping list and all those good things. Thanks for joining me. See you soon. Bye.